Hey, everybody. Welcome to Trailblazer Tuesdays. We've been putting a lot of proposals out, actually. There's a lot of things I was thinking about talking today, a little bit around simplicity, around clarity. But the real theme that keeps coming up is just how much leaders, trailblazers, are struggling with dealing with construction technology, right? The construction technology problem quagmire, we've started to call it, because it really starts to feel like a company is stuck, right? Where they have made investments, they've seen the vision of what's possible, and it just doesn't seem to work out. And we see these symptoms of this quagmire emerge where they've made the investments and are not getting the returns they expected. They're spending equal and maybe even more amount of time moving data from point A to point B, eliminating these new silos, right? Trying to get the data to where it needs to be. And despite these efforts and these investments, still not getting the operational insight they need to run a better business. And the other side of the equation is we see more investment going into really innovative, fantastic technology that should be making the job of running a company, a construction company, easier, better, faster, stronger, like just better overall. It should be easier. And so inside of this quagmire, a term I coined here at one point was you're damned if you do, and you're doomed if you don't. You're damned if you do invest in technology, and you'll fall behind and potentially become irrelevant if you don't, right? And that's the challenge, the divide, the quagmire, the schism that organizations are facing in dealing with construction technology. Now, what we do to overcome this is we really think about taking the focus off technology and putting it more onto the business objectives. And so it's, there's an old expression that says, if you want to improve the fruits, you focus on the roots, right? The problem isn't the technology. The problem is what you're not getting in investing in technology. And we have a three-part approach to, a three-part system to basically help organizations start to move away from the pain of technology into this focus on outcomes. And what we do is we help identify worthy problems. Problems are easy to find, right? There are always problems, there always be problems, and problems really present the opportunity to make something better, right? And worthy, we think about worthy, like, is it worth it? Is it worth solving this problem? And the best way to measure worthiness in business is with dollars, right? That's the universal unit of measure for worth in business is dollars. Now, there could be other things that it could be customer sat, could be all sorts of different problems, client satisfaction, compliance risk. There's all sorts of things we could look at, but worthy problems. Number two is, how do you go from where you are today with this existence of a problem to this future destination where the problem is gone, right? How do you go from where you are to where you want to be? How do you improve technology, improve data flow, improve the insights that provide information that provides insights on the business? And then with that information, knowing whether you have an impactful, worthy problem and what you need to do to move to this new spot, you can make a decision, right? You can decide. Now, so that's the three-part. I also wrote an article that got picked up here recently by Jeff Sample on the Contact Crew, and thank you, Jeff. Shout out to Jeff and the team. And but he highlighted this article that I wrote that talked about what if technology just worked. And so behind the 3 steps is the 7-point plan, the 7 steps. And I thought maybe today we'd spend a bit of time. And I don't know if we'll get to all of them. We can do this. We're doing this week by week, but the 7 steps to run through them is deciding to do something better, deciding to achieve a better business outcome through harnessing data. Data requires leadership, right? So harnessing data requires leadership. Your problems are your opportunities. We've touched on that. The alchemy of harnessing data the understanding of the ability to harness data to turn $1 into multiple dollars, $1 into three, right? Understanding that alchemy, that math. The needing a map, needing a plan to go from where you are to where you want to be, that business improvements aren't just accidental. It's number 4. Number 5, the right team, right? Once you see the opportunity, making sure that you're putting enough wood behind the arrow to get to where you want to get to. Number 2, to chalk a win, right? To put a win on the board, you have to keep score. And keeping score is, starts at the beginning with the clarity of knowing what the business impact is of that business improvement, right? What is the impact of that business improvement? So having a forecast or horizon on what you think is possible allows you to measure once you get to that destination. Did we do better? Did we do worse? What did we learn? And this one I really like is the power of momentum, right? And of compounding gains, which is, to be great, you just need to be good repeatedly. And maybe that's the one that we should really think about. Oftentimes we'll come into a conversation, and I've been part of, I have orchestrated construction technology quagmires, let's say, right? I've seen the opportunity to go and I've slammed technology in and not really thought through a lot of the change management pieces. And really the outcome in those situations, I can think about rolling out project management. I can think about rolling out time cards, forms, compliance forms. I can think about rolling out all sorts of things where I have firsthand made the mistake of focusing on technology outcomes versus business outcomes. And when you start to focus on the business outcome, it's interesting because you may not need as much runway as you do on, let's say, a finance system replacement, right? So to be great, you just need to be good repeatedly. In this idea of the magic of compounding, the 8th wonder of the world, he who understands the magic of compounding earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. But the idea here is, rather than these big bang projects, what if you got 3% better every 6 weeks, right? What if you were compounding 3% twice a quarter, right? Which would be every 6 weeks. So that would mean that you would compound 8 times. What that would do is actually double your performance in whatever area you focused on. If there's small 3% improvements, you would actually double your performance in 3 years, right? Whether that's profit margin, revenue, you pick your business outcome that you're aiming for, and very small incremental improvements can result in staggeringly outstanding business performance, right? So there's a line here which is, don't wait till the iron's hot, but make it hot by striking, right? So don't wait till the iron's hot, but make it hot by striking. And that the opportunity to start to see the potential to harness the data you have today to drive business improvement outcomes. And that could be reducing the cost of managing that data. It could be getting that data to where it needs to be in a more timely fashion, in a more trustworthy fashion. It could be enhancing the information for the specific usage. There's lots of ways to find 3% improvements in your business. And 6 weeks, I think, is the right window to start to think about really stacking those improvements without needing to go and rip and replace a system, without needing to do a full rollout. We can do these incremental improvements that create just incredible returns. So rolling backwards, and maybe we'll spend some time with this each week. To be great, you just need to be good repeatedly, the magic of compounding. To chalk a win, you need to keep a score. And that means being clear at the outset, what is the business improvement you're looking for? To build the right team, to build the dream, right? To get to that win, to put the win on the board, you want to assemble the right team, right? To create that data-powered future. Business improvement isn't accidental. you need a plan, you need a map. We call it a trail map, right? You need to understand how to put the pieces together to go from where you are today to where you want to be. The alchemy of harnessing data, right? The idea of the alchemy is, it's a magic of turning lead into gold. What if you could do that in your business? What if you could turn $1 into $3 by harnessing data? Maybe it seems ridiculous, but what if it isn't, right? 2, your problems are your opportunities. The obstacle is the way, said Marcus Aurelius. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. Start to look at problems as gifts. Love your problems. And then back to number 1, the trailblazer, you. The reason you're showing up on Tuesdays is to start to think through these ideas, to change the perspective, to start to envision a better future for your company. And like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Trailblazer. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.